So I like to use Angular to build web application that use sometimes cloud models, sometimes local models. So this time I use Light um, RT-LM Web SDK and Gemma 4 E2B model to build a simple web application to keep track of my expenses. It is because I went to Google I/O uh, Connect China last week and I spent a lot of money, so I need to know where my money went to so I can reduce my spending in September. So that's the purpose of this application. So let's yeah, this is my introduction, and I want people to give on-device AI a chance. Is because when people build AI application, they immediately think of using Gemini Flash 3.5, 3.6, or 3.7 to do the AI task. But sometimes some tasks are so small that we can consider using small language models such as Gemma. So, yeah. So the I did a talk in Google Hong Kong office yesterday. I mean on Wednesday. So I had these QR code for people to have access to my slide, my GitHub repo, and GitHub page, and I will share the Google slide after uh, the talk tonight. So, so this is the interface. So I have this Angular application, and I have these expenses in the index DB for demo purpose. I want my demo to be simple, and I need a database to keep track of my expenses. So I decide to use index DB and then have everything in the client side. So in this web user interface, I carry some expenses in August, and I asked Gemini, I'm not Gemini, sorry, Gemma 4 to generate some insights. So this is my tech stack, Gemma 4 and like RT. I use Angular because I'm an Angular GTE, and this is a web application to help me find out my spending habit and try to reduce my spending in the rest of the year. My goal is offline and private. So the Gemini 4 models is the like RT files is in Hugging Face, and in order to achieve offline, I need to be at least online once to download the small model from Hugging Face, cache it in the cache storage, and then I can turn off my Wi-Fi, and my Angular application can still ask questions to the cache German model um, for insight and for suggestion. Uh, Zero server overhead is because I'm using uh, on-device AI model. I don't need to pay for token cost um, because I'm not using anything in cloud. And privacy, I really don't want Google to know how I spend my money on things. This is personal data, like private data. So I want to keep it inside my laptop. So this is the diagram. I need to cache the model first. But yeah, if I don't cache it, it's still okay as long as I have um, internet running in a stable fashion at home. And then step two is I need to input my expenditures in a very simple input form, and then I need to go back to the previous history and insight page to carry some expenses, and then I need to do some pre-computation to help Gemma 4 to answer questions, and then I feed my user query, my pre-computation to Gemma 4 to provide context and the questions, so that Gemma 4 can provide text response back to me. And in my demo, I set the max token to a very small value, like 4,096 tokens. I can make it bigger, but I keep it as small. So after a few uh, back and forth between Gemma 4 and I, the context window is almost filled up. So I need to destroy the old conversation and create a new conversation, and then keep the maybe last two user queries to the model to maybe to help answer a follow-up question. So this is something called client-side slicing window, which is something I learned while building this demo. And in this diagram, I didn't show how I did a very simple client-side guardrail in future slides. And finally, the Gemma 4 generate structure output, uh, which contain my insights and display them in the user interface. So on-device AI doesn't mean 100% offline. Like when people talk about on-device AI, they talk about offline, zero cost, and privacy. But the last two are true as long as you don't like accidentally uh, uh, connect to a Gemini model in the cloud, or by accident leak sensitive information to Gemini's and becomes like some data in Google's training data to train their models. But for offline, it only happens if you cache the model in the cache storage. It's because I find out that most tutorial uh, download the Gemma 4 model from Hugging Face. So if the internet is on, then you can fetch the model from Hugging Face. But if the internet is off while you are on a plane, or in a very uh, remote area where internet is not stable, then the fetch call fails and your application crash, and you cannot use Gemma 4 to do work for you. So my my solution is to use a library called file proxy cache to um, cache the model in the cache storage first, and then use that model for Q&A. So this person is Jason May. He is the web AI lead of Google. So he told me to use his uh, library to cache the model. Like he said, it's not so too big, like only 2.4 gigs. So let's cache your Gemma 4 model into cache storage, and then use that model for the demo. So this is the code. So this is the location of the model. Yeah, and then use his lab to download the model from this URL, and store it in the cache storage of the browser. So so the two gig is in the storage, and if I turn off my internet, I can still run it. So yeah. So while building this demo, I had some challenges, and I used my own way to solve them. Like I found out that web SDK doesn't support image input, but image multimodal input is supported in Python, in Android, iOS, just not in web. So and tool calling is also not supported. So that makes calculation with tools not possible, which leads to the second challenge. Like I think this is a common problem in small language model. Like if I ask a Gemma to do some math, such as like how find out the total spending on a specific day, it hallucinate and give me a wrong result. Uh, During testing, I found out that a Gemma tried to add um, these three numbers and return 202. So and contest limit. After talking to after talking with Gemma for after I don't know 4 or 5 times or or 8 times, I saw an error in the Chrome DevTool console. Like the number of tokens in the conversation exceed the max token. I set the max token to 4096. So maybe after like multi-turn conversation, the error occurred, and I saw this error in the console, and in the user interface, I got no answer back, and got a rare limit. In my last job, when I built a rack with Python, children, and cloud model, I had the luxury to use another open source library called LLM Guard, and download a lot of small local models from Hugging Face to guard the user query against gibberish, uh, toxic meaning, and irrelevant topics. But the browser only has 4 gig RAM, and I already allocated 2.4 gig to Gemma for E2B model. To be honest, I don't have much um, memory remain to download other small models to perform sophisticated guardrails. So I had to write a client-side uh, guardrail for gibberish and irrelevant topic. So my solutions, I couldn't. I had to change the the requirement of my demos. I didn't show how to upload an image, um, and use Gemma 4 to extract uh, data from the receipt to populate uh, merchant name, amount, transaction date, that kind of stuff to demonstrate human in the loop. I had to manually input the data myself until LiteRT Web SDK support image input. Jason said it will be supported, but he didn't tell me when, so I have to wait. And to avoid mathematics hallucination, and no tool calling from the web SDK. I uh, did a pre-computation to calculate monthly spending, daily spending, like anything related to uh, aggregation, and pass the data to Gemma 4 as context to help me um, answer uh, I don't know, the amount of spending on a specific day, or generate insight why a certain day has a much higher spending than the other day. Um, yeah, conversation slicing. I reset the conversation after 3 or 4 turns, and use client-side slicing window technique to um, provide the last two user queries to the new conversation to maybe help Gemma to answer the next question. Um, Guardrail, I use Porter stemmer algorithm to stem the tokens into similar words, and then pass those words to a fixed financial keyword list. So if any token appears in that list, then I assume the query is about finance, is about generating insights regarding my spending habit. So let's show some code. This is my system prompt to specify my role, and what kind of uh, input will be provided to the Gemma 4 model, and the output is a JSON object with a list of insights, some rules, and yeah, this is the system prompt, the context, and then the user query, and then guardrail. Yeah, I split the user query into a list of token, and use the stemmer port the algorithm to stem the token into similar words, and check whether or not the query is clean and can be fed to Gemma 4 to generate insight. So this engine is a engine created by the LiteRT-LM web SDK, and then I use the engine to create a conversation, and then this is the user prompt with the dynamic user query, and then I pass the user prompt to the conversation to get a streaming response. So the user experience is better. So instead of waiting for I don't know how many seconds to get the entire like text response, I see the output like little by little until I see the entire answer. So let's show the demo. Oh, I still have a few minutes. So yeah, let me yeah search, and okay, okay, give me a second. I want to yeah show that the 2 gig Gemma 4 is still in the cache storage, and I want to show my spending this week. Okay, so if I type like the button is disabled, and then a warning like please type something that is relevant to finance. So okay, please uh, tell me what dominates my spending this week. Okay, other. I spend 60.4% in spend others. So please me the merch of other degree. Yeah. Huh? Not sure not to. Come on. Or maybe another question. Please, if I travel a lot this week, I don't want to see. And, numerous. I don't know. Please ignore it. So could be 3. I don't know. Yeah, travel. So yeah. After like trial and error, I found out that Gemma 4 is very good for text to text tasks and for generating insight. But if I ask Gemma to find out the total spending in a specific day or category, the answers are brutal. So in here, yeah, it gives me the lowest cost of travel is 5.6 Hong Kong dollar from like Chicago to my place, and yeah, like I like to take taxi to the hospital and take MTR from one location to another. So yep. So this is the the demo I want to show, and so the takeaway is to achieve 100% offline. Please remember to cache the model. So you only need to be online once and can run uh, the web application offline and ask question to the cache Gemma 4 model. And if your application needs to uh, do a lot of calculations, if the SDK support tool calling, use tools to do the math in the programming language. If the web SDK doesn't support tool calling like web SDK, then pre-calculate the data and feed it to the model as context, and client-side conversation slicing. So if you're concerned the conversation will get big and exceed the max token, then remember to destroy the old conversation and create a new one, and maybe feed the previous user queries and response uh, as the context of the conversation to help answer subsequent questions. So this is the end of my talk, and you can find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and I like to write blog, and I have a YouTube channel that talk about Angular and web AI and cloud AI. So thank you for inviting me to do a talk on Gemma Day, and I always want like Anna to invite me, and I finally get my wish. So I love the summer of 2026. So thank you, everyone.